Hi everybody. At the time that you're watching this video, you will already be able to see, or may already have seen, my first ride on the LXR 380. But at the point of recording this, as you can see, it's still private. In this video, and in recent months, I've talked about how I'm of the belief that the 125cc market secondhand is a little bit of a minefield. Because, you know, younger owners, it's their first bike, they don't necessarily know anything about motorcycle mechanics or basic maintenance or what is and isn't an issue. So the bikes tend to be a little ropey at times, and you can't really trust all of the listings that you see. Now, as I mentioned in this video, I'm also of the belief, which is that the A2 market is actually far more reliable secondhand, because by that age people tended to have a bit more time to have learnt some things. Maybe they've already had a 125 and they've had practice on that. I just noticed that the A2 bikes that are for sale never look as bad as some of the 125s you see. So it would seem somewhat remiss of me to not have a little look on Auto Trader and see what second-hand bike you could buy instead of buying the LXR 380. Because, yeah, I'm going to say it again, second-hand to brand new is not the same thing, and when you buy second-hand, there could be anything wrong with it, and you're not going to get things like the 2 years parts and labour warranty, and you're not going to get the year's breakdown cover that you get when you buy a new Lexmoto, but it's definitely more of a valid question, because if you're spending £3,800 on the Lexmoto, you could consider buying an alternative brand of motorcycle. Okay, before we get onto the second-hand bikes, I think it's important to have a look at the on-the-road prices of the alternatives in the A2 market new at the moment. So we are going to compare new with new. So in this post, as you can see, I said to people, could you please, you know, basically do this for as many of the bikes that you like the most in the A2 market. As Adam Weeks points out here, the LXR 380 is £3,798 on the road. The website is showing £3,699.99, but as he pointed out, there is a £100 on the road price added fee, I believe. So know that the price of the LXR is £3,800 basically. 40 brake horsepower, it is what it is. I'll be doing the review in the future. Okay, so starting at the bottom, Yamaha MT-07 2020, £6,695, so that is £2,800 more. There's a lot more bike. There's a lot more bike there, no doubt about that. Yep, same thing being pointed out here. Royal Enfield Continental GT Interceptor 650, £5,900. Don't forget the one that I pointed out in my original post, which is the CBR 500R, which is currently up for £6,099. Alan here points out the CBR 650R and the CB 650R are both A2 capable, a bit more expensive at £7,007 and £7,000 on the nose basically. Also don't discount the F models, which are both, yeah, okay, so the Hondas are all around that sort of price mark, the 500s. There are other options, but we're just talking about sort of general prices here. So thank you for that extra info. That shows that there are some slightly more expensive options if you want to have something which I assume will be restricted, opposed to the like the CBR 500R, which is by default a compliant bike. Honda CB500X 2019 at $6,069. They're the winners. This is referencing a video I did recently as a Patreon exclusive. It's quite funny. Anyway, continuing on, Kawasaki 400, looking at £5,600. Again, £5,600. Kawasaki Ninja 650 on the road at £6,900 even. Kawasaki versus 650 £7,300. Kawasaki Ninja, yeah. KTM RC390 2019, £4,200. That's a pretty good price. Yamaha R3 on the road, £5,500. Yamaha MT-03 on the road, £5,200, or the YZF R3, here we go, the same ones. Bandit 600, they don't sell the Bandit anymore, I don't think. They definitely don't. So Alf's Motorcycles in Worthing have the 2020 Z650 for £6,649. There's a good ad for Alf's Motorcycles there. Hey Alf's, you owe me commission. Triumph Street Triple SA2 on the road, £8,100. BMW G310, that is a bike I have to go and ride soon. When the weather's clear up a bit, I will make a point of doing this. The BMW is only £3,500, so it's actually cheaper than the Lexmoto. Is that right? Someone in the comments. and it's Hippo Drones, you should go and subscribe to him, points out the KTM 390 Duke is 4,750, but he's seen it for a lot less. I've said, was that dealer specials? And we've got here, I'm guessing so. Some have been advertised at 4,100. I got mine 4,200 on the road towards the end of 2018. So it appears that the list price might be 4,700, but some people are getting it for closer to 4. If you shop around a bit with dealers, they might have specials, or they might have a bike that's been sat there for a while and then knock a couple of £100 off to help clear it off the shelves. It's no bad thing if it's just been sat there a bit longer in a nice warm room. It's worth noting. So it looks like the prices range from that BMW that's supposed to be the lowest. I should check that now, but let's leave that to the comments section. Up to, you know, 8,000 something pounds for like the Triumph. But the mid-range is around 5.5 to 6, somewhere around there. So the LXR coming in at £3,800 is pretty good when we compare new to new, but we're now going to compare new to second hand. And normally I'd say you shouldn't do this, but in this instance it's what we're going to do, because the reality is when you're going to buy a bike and it's an A2, you do consider second hand. And like Reno's CBR 500R was an absolute gem. Yeah, I knew the dealer myself, I knew I could trust them, I was able to look into the bike myself, I gave it a really good look over, and I was happy that it was a good bike at a good price, and as it's turned out to be, it was exactly that. I've put my PO box postcode in just so I've got, you know, something in there. We've gone from 200 cc's because obviously it goes 125 to 200 on here, and we want to look at A2s, so we have to start at 200. We're not going to max the cc. We have selected license class as A2. Was that something on Auto Trader before? Because I remember having to put A2 in. I don't remember this button. If that suddenly appeared, I'm suspicious. Or I'm just blind. Anyway, maximum price, £4,000, because that gives us our £3,800 budget at the LXR, plus a couple of hundred extra quid. You know, because there's no point saying 3,800 on the nose. Let's go up to £4,000. Okay, these are sorted by lowest first, and now we're going to quickly skim through till we get up to the range of the LXR 380. Okay, so we've got like, here we got a GN 400 at 1,600 quid. Sinus Apache 250 for 1,700 quid. FTR 223 at £2,000. Sorry, can I just... That's kind of cool. Loads of history. Very simple motorcycle. Years MOT. Looks like Evel Knievel's bike. I actually think that's pretty cool. But we are really going off the subject here. It's only £2,000 as well. Okay, moving on. Kawasaki Ninja 300, £2,000. Good looking contender. It's only got 23,000 miles. It's not that many, really. Honda CBR 250R, 2,250, 9,000 miles. 26 brake horsepower. Oh yeah, well, we should point out at this point, the A2 license allows you to have up to 48 brake horsepower. There is a weight ratio on that as well, but these are being listed as A2 compliant, so we'll trust that this is correct. Now, with the Vendetta, I got the opinion from many people, which is like, well, why would you choose to have something with less than the 48 brake horsepower on an A2 license? Well, because people don't all want that. But also note that, yes, this 250 is producing 26 brake horsepower, and the Lex Motor is producing about 17.5. But I think in this we should take the stance of, well, I want 48 brake horsepower, I've come off a 125, I want as much power as I can get because I feel so frustrated and restricted by the licenses anyway, that the A2 I want to get what I can. Which is the CBR 500R pretty much. And some other alternatives. 600 Hornet, £2,300. Cat D, 25,000 miles, okay. Dip on a little bit if anything jumps out at us. Ooh, a Beverly 300, eh? There we go, we got an RC390 there with 4,000 miles on it, 44 brake horsepower, £2,600. Now, if someone says to me, why would I buy the LXR over that KTM? Look, I can save myself £1,200, and I've got myself something with 44 brake horsepower, and it's KTM. And I can't argue with you on that. If that's what you want to do, do that. And that's a very big point. I've made this clear. I gain nothing out of you buying whatever bike that you buy. I just give my opinion on a bike. If someone wants the LXR, they're going to buy the LXR. If there's a reason they don't want the KTM, they're not going to get the KTM. If you want the KTM and you think, like, or whatever other bike you're looking at, and you're like, yeah, I'd rather go with this, go with that. I've always said this, is like, everything's your choice. I just sort of review bikes on how I find them. But I am talking about the price in this case because I do feel like it's a relevant issue that we should talk about, and I should talk about, because it's relevant to you guys and you're looking at bikes, and I want to give you the most helpful information that I can. Now there's the BMW at 2,800. Maybe the BMW is that cheap. I mean, I know it's built in India. It's not built by BMW. It's not a BMW as such, but then it's no different from the way that sort of the Chinese bikes work. So KTM Duke 390 at £2,800. Honda CBR 300. So what brake horsepower has that got? 30 brake horsepower, so 10 less than the LXR, and you're looking at £2,850. We are in midwinter at the moment, so I do believe that means our prices are a little bit lower because people are trying to clear stock on bikes that have been sat around before the new season comes in. Because I think most of these aren't private sellers, these are, you know, dealerships. 3.4, 3.5, 3.5. We need to get up to the 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, 3.6, 3.6, 3.7, 3.7, 3.7. 3.7. Let's have a look at this one. This is a 2019 KTM RC390, 44 brake horsepower. This looks brand new at £3,750. You know, just check, that is brand new. That is a damn good deal. Someone is going to buy that if this is not already sold by the time this video goes up. So Premier Bikes, thank me later. Kawasaki ER6N650, 3.8. A DRZ 400 SM. That's a quality bike, and that's a strong price. I hope that's realistic. It'd stand good for me because this is a 2007 registered. Mine's built 2007, registered 08. This has got 15,000 miles on it. Mine's got 20-something thousand miles on it, but the actual bore has got a lot less than that, and it's a 440. Brand new CB300R. CB300R, they obviously have a lot of them left over they're trying to sell. There's one of the bikes that was suggested, a Honda CB500X at £3,900, basically 15,000 miles on the clock. Royal Enfield 500 with 1,500 miles on it, 3,900. Another CB. So basically, if you're looking at buying a CB300 at the moment, haggle. Haggle, 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 because they have got more than they can possibly deal with, clearly. ER6N, 3,975. Honda CB500, nearly £4,000. People have wanted me to try and ride this bike, but they are tiny. They are really small when I saw one at a show. Anyway, £4,000 for a 2018 with 3,000 miles on it. That's a pretty good call, to be fair. This is another thing, I'm not saying anything about reliability or parts cost or anything like that, and that isn't just to say about the Chinese bikes, as people would say. There are some other brands which have reputations of not being so reliable and can be very expensive to fix. I'm not saying that KTM stands for keeps taking money, but, you know, people are now going to get defensive over KTM. I have a KTM and it was perfect. I'm joking. Kind of. There's another one here, and I just have to say, whoever this person is quite clearly of the smaller stature, because they are making that. That's one trick that the bike industry do use. They will use very small people to sit on their bikes for the pictures, because it makes the bike look bigger. If I sat on that, it would be laughable. But then I'm a bit of a giant. Okay, I'm just going to put this on in the background while we sort of talk about the conclusion on this. Yes, I do think it is a very valid point to say that for the 3,800 that the LXR costs, you could go and buy a second-hand bike. You could end up getting one of the larger brands. It might have better build quality because it was originally more expensive. There's some of the benefits of doing that. Some of the drawbacks, obviously, you won't have the same backup as in like warranties and stuff. Yeah, a dealership might offer you a few months grace, or some of them might even offer you a year's sort of comeback on it, but it depends on different dealerships and whether they're going to back that up that strongly. I've heard of people being promised, you know, oh, we'll look after the bike, don't worry, if anything comes up, and then they're like, well, you know, it's kind of sold as seen. That is worth mentioning. If you buy privately, you could save a little bit more, but again, there is risk there that there could be something wrong with it, which obviously is one of the risks of buying secondhand. You might get a bike with a problem and you won't have any comeback. I'd also say get an insurance quote on both bikes to see where your insurance would be with either of them. Some companies might want to charge more because the bike was originally more expensive and possibly more stealable, or more stolen in the sense that people want them. Oh, there's a Reno. It's all variable, and it also depends on when you live and all that sort of stuff, so that's worth checking that out. At the end of the day, if someone wants to buy a brand new bike, if someone likes the 380, they'll go and buy the 380. They might be like, no, I want a new bike, I don't want a second-hand one, I want a couple of years, come back, I want to know that it's going to be looked after should a problem come up, which is down to them. I think that is a fair thing, and as I say, I'm not here to swing anyone to do one thing or the other, and I very often find that the more combative comments you get in retaliation to videos, I say retaliation like it's a fight, when I put a video up, people seem to think that I'm trying to make someone buy something. I'm just literally giving you my opinion on it. I have no eggs in this basket. I'm not gaining anything by Lex Moto selling a bike. I don't get any commission, I'm not paid to do any of this. I just give my opinion on that bike for what it is. So as you saw earlier on, my patrons went on the screen. Huge thanks for your support. If you found this video interesting or useful, hit that subscribe button. I'm doing a review and stuff on the LXR 380. This is a big subject and there is a lot to it. Now I imagine the comments of this video are going to turn into somewhat of a battleground, possibly. It does happen with the internet. But I hope that this shows you the sort of the openness and honesty that I tried to bring to my reviews, and also back up what I say. As I say, with the 125cc market, I do think it's a little bit risky. With the A2 market, I don't think it's so risky, and I do think it's a valid thing, and I am talking about it because I think it is. I do hope that people appreciate the honesty side of the reviews that I do, and the fact that I try not to bring too much personal opinion into it other than just what I think of the bike. Many different people out there have many different reasons for buying many different bikes, and at the end of the day, it's down to them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.